This is The Art of Startup War, and I am your sensei, Brian McMahon. Now, in Season 1 and 2, I got inside the minds of startup investors. In Season 3, I brought in entrepreneurs to share their startup journey. Here, in Season 4, we combine both, so you can hear investors critique the investment value proposition of individual companies. You're going to hear how investors make decisions to invest in startups, what makes a great entrepreneur, and how billion-dollar companies are built. So tune in every Tuesday, 10 a.m. on all the major platforms. You can empower your tribe by sharing the podcast, and remember to subscribe, rate, review, and leave us a comment.
Good morning, it's Brian. It is a Tuesday morning. It is 10 o'clock. You are listening to the Expert Dojo Start of Art of War. Start of Art of War, Art of Startup War. And this is going to be a fantastic day because today you are going to understand how ocean tech works. It's a world you cannot imagine. So Hakan's here, and the other day, we've been involved with these amazing folks with Korean Ocean Tech, which is now American Ocean Tech, which is really just ocean tech everywhere, for at least the last 6 months. So we know this business like the back of our hand before we invested into it. But the other day, I had the pleasure of driving around Long Beach with Hakan, and we went out and we looked at just the size of marine and just like how much is involved in running a port. And it blew my mind. It was like I'm watching all of these huge crates being loaded or taken off the ships, and I'm watching all of the huge tankers coming in, and I'm looking at these things like it's Lego being loaded on and off. And it's not that the port is inside Long Beach, or probably even that the port is inside any of the other ports. It's that the city is kind of inside the port. The port is the main attraction. This is absolutely massive, right?
Correct, yes. Very much correct.
And it's not an eye-opener for you because this is your background, but it was an eye-opener for me, and I think it's kind of hidden away from people. If people understood how huge transport is with the ocean, it would be the biggest tech space in the world. Hell, maybe it is the biggest tech space in the world, but just people don't know about it.
Yeah, actually, we are more connected to the ocean than we know. For example, the world trade is running on the water more than 60%. And the oil that we are consuming or the chemicals that we are consuming is transported by sea, or the banana that we eat or the cheese that we consume every day, it's all transported majorly by the sea.
So 60% of every single thing that is touched, consumed, engaged with, comes by the ocean.
Comes by the ocean, comes by the rivers, comes by the water, on the water.
Fascinating.
It is, and people are not very aware about this. And as well, we are not aware about the dangers or how many ships are sinking daily basis, or what kind of the environmental catastrophe we are facing with daily basis, or what kind of humans are losing the life in daily basis on the oceans,
Amazing.
on the sea.
And I didn't realize it until I looked out on the ocean, and we're driving through Long Beach, and we're up on the bridge, and I'm looking down, and there's a ship. And then you say to me, hey, just look a little bit to your left. And then there's 25 other huge ships all waiting to get into the port. One after another, after another, after another. And they all have just thousands of massive big, they're not crates, what are they?
Tankers, crude oil.
They've got everything on top of them.
They're LNG,
stacked up like hundreds of feet.
Container ships are huge. And every year, as we grow more consuming society, we consume more containers per ship. So
it's increasing.
It's increasing, and the risks are increasing, and the volume is increasing, and there must be some solution for minimizing the risk on the ocean. That's why we are here.
So I know you're very focused on human life, which is fair, kind of important. But I'm also, what struck me with looking at this is just the potential problems for the world. You know, it just takes a few of these ships to sink. And yeah, the people on board, it's terrible if anything happens to them. But actually, there's such a long-term impact on the world. I don't even want to say environment because it almost belittles how huge it is. But one of these ships is carrying a massive amount of oil. God bless you, it's all over. Like, and two or three of these ships sink, and then another ship sinks with some chemicals in it, and we're drinking it and eating it and touching it and engaged with it and swimming in it, and there's no real escape because it's not like we have a solution, right?
No, unfortunately, this is the negative side of the contemporary life that we are having. The every day we are facing this kind of troubles. Every year there are more than 350 sea accident occurs, and they are mostly dangerous and fatal, and property losses as well as the catastrophe on the environment. As you say, if there's small leakage of the oil, this will spill huge and contaminate the ocean. So, I mean, if it's being infected and contaminated, then what will happen to the ocean, the habitat, the people? We are using it, we are consuming the fish, right? And all the sea creatures living inside this sea. So, there must be some way to prevent it before the accident happens.
Okay, so that was my first shock in this whole space and why it was so exciting for me to get educated by you. My second one, back in the day, and even when I was speaking to some of the other folks in Ocean Tech, was how many ships actually sink. Because many people are listening and thinking, yeah, Brian, it's probably bad, but seriously, how bad can it be? I mean, how many ships are actually sinking in the ocean? Well, actually, I got news for you, a lot.
It is much beyond our imagination. If you think the ship is a vessel floating on the water, so we can say one ship per day sinks.
Per day.
Per day, correct.
Yeah, and just
small, medium, big, commercial, or
and how big is a big commercial ship?
I mean, over 10,000 gross ton, we say it's a big ship. We call it. But below 10,000 metric ton or gross ton, so we say is a medium.
10,000 gross ton. Can you just imagine? Like 1 ton, by the way, is pretty obscene. 10,000 gross ton. I just don't even know how to describe how massive that is and the amount of oil or chemicals that might be carrying. And why are these ships sinking? What are the main reasons?
There are a couple of main reasons. The first major reason is the accidents, of course, the collisions. They may collide to ship. They may collide to coral reef or stones because there are passages, narrow passages. So sometimes the captains or underwater circuits, the waterways are so dense and so strong, and the captains cannot maneuver the ship correctly. So it hits and gets the hole on the hull.
Wow.
And this is the major reason of the accident. Second reason is that the fire, we can say, the fire on the ocean or explosion.
I could see that because it's kind of ironic that being surrounded by so much water, that a fire can take down a ship. But I could also see how it would be terrifying because obviously the fire is inside the ship. It's not outside where the water is.
No.
It's the part that actually destroys the bit that keeps the inside from the outside.
Correct. I mean, we have tankers. They are carrying 50,000, 100,000 crude oil. Some of them are huge, 30,000 metric tons, 50,000 metric tons of LNG, LPG. Literally.
Hang on a sec. Hold on one sec. Do you listeners understand how much you get educated on the Expert Dojo Art of Startup War podcast? This is insane. Like, who knew any of this stuff? We're finding out about ships. Continue, please.
Yeah. The LNGs are the form of the LPGs. LNG is liquid.
What's an LPG again?
A liquid petroleum gas.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
And it is minus 270 degrees Celsius. They decrease and they change the form into the liquid form to be able to make them transport by the sea, by the vessels, because as you know, the volume increases as you got more gas form.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to transfer those form into the liquid form, and then we put into the vessels, we call the pressure vessels, special vessels, and we carry it in the ocean from A to B or B to C.
Okay.
So they are literally a bomb on the ocean.
Wow.
If you don't treat them well. That's why security measurements within such ships are so high, where you are not able to use your mobile phone on the deck. You you can't use any mobile devices because of the electromagnetic the fields may trigger some kind of a fire reason for, and this fire means a huge explosion, huge
And
explosion.
nobody's getting off that boat.
No, no. Thanks God, we haven't had that much catastrophic experience yet, but this is over there. It may happen sometime.
Okay, so we've got potential sinking of a boat, which is very common. We have fires on boats, which is incredibly common. What else?
Of course, we have a capsizing problems because sometimes the cargo ships they have a not they don't properly put the cargo into one side.
So I don't know if anybody's seen a cargo ship when it's full up. It is terrifying. Like you're talking about, they will take 7, 8 containers, maybe more. They will plunk them on top of each other, and then they will go all the way up and down the deck of the ship. So you've got a ship which maybe is I don't know, pretty low down from the deck all the way down to the ocean, but you've got the same amount of height going up to the sky. So
Yeah.
actually, I'm not surprised they capsize. I'm kind of surprised that they can stay afloat without capsizing.
Because the ocean are so dangerous place, to be honest, on the open ocean. So if you got a massive tens of thousands of container in a ship, and then you got to be very careful about the balance and the other things as well. So it is a high risk for them to capsize easily if they don't rule safety regulations. So this is another big risk for ships to be capsized.
Wow. Okay. So now we get to the moment where we talk about ocean tech. So, ocean tech, I will start and then you can go deeper. For me, there's one word, actually, 3 words if we're going to say what it's fully about. It's safety on the ocean.
Correct.
That
Correct.
is your business.
I call myself, our company, like we are invisible safety belt for marine and for the fire accidents.
Okay, very good. And then, so let's go into a little bit of detail of what it actually covers and
we,
what makes it so special. I don't know which of your products I like the most. I love the fact of what you can do to hulls. I find that incredible. The fact that many people don't know this, but the company originated from Korea, and Korea are without question the greatest shipbuilding nation on the planet. The greatest technology that goes everywhere in the world comes from Korea, and we're all good at something. This is their superhero strength. So I love the simplicity and the brilliance of how they dealt with the problem of holes in hulls. But I also kind of like the fire one as well. I don't know. You lead with whichever you prefer.
yeah, but let me lead you with this story of me, how to join this company,
Okay.
my main motivation. I lived in South Korea for 15 years.
Uh-huh.
And when I was there, I have witnessed one very terrible disaster called Seoul ferry disaster took place in 2014. It was 15th of April. And the ship has capsized just 5.7 miles away from south coast of South Korea. And within 30 minutes, it's sunk. And there was, I think, 304 people passed away,
Wow.
trapped inside the hull. And unfortunately, 250 of them are high school students from the same specific high school.
Oof.
So when I got this story in my mind, when the American Ocean Tech or Korean Ocean Tech got the offer from me, I said, okay, now I can help those people, similar people that may happen again or sometime soon. So it's kind of a payback for me for the community, because the value that our company creates is so enormous, so big, so effective. So if I may have some contribution to avoid similar mistakes in the future, this would be my ultimate goal, and to pay back to the community as a person and as an individual.
Because it could have been avoided.
It could, yeah, it was preventable. It was obvious. It's preventable. Likewise, the other majority of these sea accidents are preventable.
So the problem wasn't that there was a hole in the hull or that it stops. The problem was they could have stopped the water from coming in.
There. I mean, for the Sewell case, it's a very unique. There was a human error. There was a hole in the hull, and there was a capsize, but there was not emergency response on time. And even though there was a trapped people, there was not enough time to dig into the hull and reach the people where they trapped. And the time was so important for them, so they couldn't reach the people. They were texting to the fathers and loved ones when they were thrown in the ship.
Wow.
Can you believe I'm talking about 250 people?
Wow.
And they are all kids and they are the future of Korea, but they're all gone. But they were savable for many people. So we are here to provide the solutions to avoid the ships sinking, to avoid the fire happening on and off the sea. Yeah.
Tell me how.
Okay, we have solutions and products physically made and developed by our company to prevent the hole on the hull if some sea accident happens. So we have super magnet pads to attach on the sub-level sea or on the level sea of the ship, and this blocks the hull and stops the water coming inside, or in case of the oil spill, it stops the oil and blocks the oil spill and protects the environment.
And you got to see these things. So we have them over here at the dojo, and they're big magnetic pads that have a see-through part which is in the middle. And you even put them close to anything which is magnetic, this thing sticks to them like glue. So imagine, I don't even imagine, like think about a bunch of the travesties that we had before and like the terrible tragedies with oil. And you hear these things about, yeah, the oil was spilling for days and days and days and days and days. Well, that's a problem, because it shouldn't be spilling for days and days and days and days and days. And the fact that you can not only plug a hole on the side of a ship, but you can do it while the ship is doing 21 knots is incredible. So I love that product.
That's incredible one. You don't have to wait for the help or save or rescue to reach you, because you can just put them on the board in case. That's why I tell you it's very invisible safety belt. So the trained seamen can put and attach them on the surface of the hull, and this will prevent the leakage, or this will prevent the water coming inside the hull. So, and even with this pad on it, it doesn't break off, so you can go as much as 25 knots per hour, which is very high speed for a sea vessel.
And then how long can you go at that speed before it'll fall off?
Never fall off.
Lovely. They're the magic words.
And we have been testing this product for 4 years, and we are selling this product proudly to South Korean Navy and maritime industry, and we never had any case that it fall apart.
And now we're bringing it over to the US.
That's the idea. Yes.
Yeah, fantastic. And then second product, equally amazing actually, which are chemicals within fires. And by the way, for all of you people listening, this is when we talk about frictionless innovation. Everybody wants this product. You know, I don't care if you're a union on a shipyard, I don't care if you're the folk on the ship, if you're the captain on the ship, it doesn't matter. Everybody wants these products because they keep people safe. So second product, I love it. Fire, simple. Normally you have water or you have some kind of fire extinguisher, it puts out fire, but sometimes it puts out fire, but it destroys everything around it. So even if you put out the fire, you may have caused a way bigger problem in that now you have disabled the entire functionality of the ship itself because of all of the crap that you've actually put on it. Tell us what you do.
The fire on the ocean is a disaster, and it's a huge catastrophe for the crew and for the environment and for the people and for the ship as well. So we have created a special chemical. It's not hazardous for human and for the animals as well. So we captured this chemical into capsules, and this capsules activate itself when its temperature reaches to 120 degrees Celsius. I don't know how many is Fahrenheit because I'm from Europe. And then it extinguishes immediately any fire when it breaks out. So normally what we do, the problem is that we widely adopt the safety systems and the products. And this creates a false sense of safety for us. For example, we have the fire extinguisher tubes, right? It's over there. It should be maintained well, and there must be training to use, and etc. And we have smoke detectors, and we have fire blankets, and we have circuit breakers, and etc. But we have created the system. This is a proactively fights with the fire. So you don't have to do human manipulation to activate it. It is always there, and we minimize it, and we put to your electrical devices like power plugs, like electric outlets or sockets, or we put them like a sleeve that you can attach it to the surface of a dangerous area. You think there will be a fire come up. So it automatically activates itself, and it repeatedly kills the fire and kills the fire source.
So beautiful. So we got the fire covered, we got the hole in the side covered. Another area which I didn't even know was a problem, but obviously when you look at ships, it's a huge problem, is captains going up and down the ships. Not even the salvaging yet. We're going to get to that in a second. I mean just captains getting up and down and off the ships. Apparently they fall off this damn thing all the time because their methodology for being able to get wherever they need to get to is not that great.
Correct.
And it's not their fault, right? It's just the way ships are made.
No, that's the structure of the climbing ladder. We call them devil's ladder because every year 2 or 3 skilled captains lose life because of climbing those ladders.
Wow.
So it's a loose rope, and it's a wooden, basic, very old-fashioned ladders. It is not fixed to the surface of the ship. So the climate and weather conditions, sea conditions, so rough, and the pilot boats approach to the mother vessel while the mother vessel is traveling on the sea. So the captain should grab it and should climb up to the ladder, which height normally 30 or 20 meters high.
Wow.
So it is a slippery ladder. So it's a loose. The problem is it's moving ladder.
Oh,
it's
kidding
like
me?
you're in a
terrifying.
circus, and it's like a dragon's fight. Like it's a real life scenario. And we have developed a system because our CEO is ex-captain. He knows these obstacles and deals very well.
Wow.
So we got a electromagnet fixing equipment for them. This enabled them to safely go on the ship and go off the ship. This is a removable device. So it is very much essential device for cruise liners, for tankers, for any ship and every ship.
Wow. And then finally, we look at the salvage, right? So we're saying, so with the best will in the world, there are always going to be times that ships are not going to make it through, right? Our objective is to make sure that we reduce the incidence of terrible things happening on the ocean as much as possible. But when that one ship doesn't make it through, the actual cost of salvaging a ship and the methodology of salvaging a ship is, again, not only extremely dangerous, but also extremely expensive. And you've also got solutions in that area too.
Yeah, we got the lessons from the Seville ferry accident. So immediate response to the sunken ships are so vital, not only for the cost-wise, it's also for environment, because you might have oil spill, or there might be some human being trapped inside the hull. So we have developed some seesaw technology, drills almost and penetrates almost every thickness of the ship. And we are normally using a special patented technology where we supply the air and discharge the oil or the water from the hull at the same time. This saves the time a lot, where the conventional system, you need to do around 18 hours to 20 hours of work under this water, but in our system, we can do it in 40 minutes.
Wow. So look, folks, you get the idea of what they do. Every single thing in safety in the ocean is covered. So it's a great company. Why do you think we invested in this company? We knew they were brilliant. It was firstly made in South Korea, the best. It was created by someone who had tremendous domain experience. There is a team of people who are phenomenal in their own area. And now we have a company which are launching hard over in the United States. So you put all of that together, we knew the company was going to do great. So let's move now to what kind of money you're trying to raise and what you're going to use that money for. And then let's talk a little bit about what the company is going to be in the next 3 to 5 years.
We are aiming to be number one in our industry for the safety on marine and on fire.
Okay.
So we would like to be remembered that our products are good for human and safety of the property, safety of the environment, and safety of the human being as well. So we would
You're going to be like the Intel for ship safety.
Exactly. That's what we want to do because we are committed to this. We put our emotion because it is good for the community and for the people as well.
Right.
So we are sure about that where we are leading. So we need an investors, strategic investors who can share the dream with us and walk together with us.
And save lives. It's beautiful. So not only are you actually going to make a tremendous amount of money because you have a product which has a great product fit and a very strong value to your customer, but you can also literally measure the amount of lives that you can save every single year by just continually striving to stay as the absolute badge of safety within marine.
Correct. We have a niche market probably because of the marine industry, but we have developed a system for marine, but this is applicable to everywhere because in in the United States, every year or every day, 2 people die because of the fire accident and 4 people got injured and 4 million US dollars are property loss according to the National Fire Association.
Right.
So we have a solution for that. And this all solutions are very unique and applicable to every and each single device that we are using, including the fire blankets, the daily using our cars or lithium battery compartments or power the banks that we are using. So we can cover up all of them and get rid of the electrical arcs. Or for industries like chemical plants, nuclear power plants, the tunnels, the huge bunch of industry that we are talking about is a huge potential market for us. But we have targeted first as a market for marine industry. Then we want to go with the consumers like electric outlets or sleeves like DIY system where people can reach our product through conventional online and offline markets and then experiences. And then afterwards, we would like to develop our B2B projects with our counterpartners according to demand of the market.
Okay, brilliant. And I can tell you from our side, we've seen the tremendous traction that they're getting with regards to initial meetings. We're actually going to finish this and get onto a meeting in a couple of seconds with more people in the space who want to get engaged with this. So investors, get engaged, especially folks that are in the marine space. If you understand the space, you understand the potential here. Get in on the company when the price is nice and reasonable, and then watch them soar the same as we intend to. If you are folks which are inside the marine space, I implore you, make sure that you speak to Hakan. Make sure that you outreach to the company. We're going to give you their details in a second so that you can get engaged. He's the nicest guy in the world. They're the greatest team in the world, and they want to build community. So please reach out, pay it forward, and help make sure that marine becomes a safer place in the future. And if you're industry experts and you just want to make sure that you're engaged in what they're doing, again, the same to you as well. Can you let us have your email address, please, and also the website address?
Yeah, our website address is Korea OT, short form of Ocean Tech, .co.kr. We are developing the American Ocean Tech soon, but right now they can use koreaot.co.kr.
Beautiful. And then your email?
My email address is Hakan, which is my name, and then dot, and Baltali, Baltali, which is my surname, at koreaot.co.kr.
Beautiful. And then in 45 years' time, they're writing your obituary for what Ocean Tech did in the world. What are they going to say?
Thanks God this company was exist at that time that saved the life of humans and environment probably, and they will. That's going to be my legacy as a person that I can tell to my kids after.
Boom. That's it. That's where we're leaving it. We are so pleased. Forget we. I am so pleased that we invested in you. I am so pleased to have you here. I'm happy to call you a friend. I am happy to say that I'm looking forward to standing on the stock exchange in 5 years' time and looking back and saying not only have we impacted the world, but we've also made a ton of money for everybody who is involved in ocean tech.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you for having me here. And thank you for sharing our dream together. And we will look further and we will do our best.
Beautiful. That's a wrap.
Thanks for joining us. If you love the podcast, please empower your circle by sharing these stories. The Art of Startup War is brought to you by Expert Dojo. And remember, we invest in startups, $50,000 checks. Make sure you apply on our site if you are one of those great entrepreneurs looking to bring your company to the next level. As far as the Art of Startup War is concerned, we are back every single Tuesday at 10 a.m. So remember, check out the new episodes. If you want to find out what the investors think, check out season 1 or 2. But make sure you join us every single week.